Welcome to McGrail Vineyards. I'm Mark Clarin, the winemaker, and this is Heather McGrail.
I think we're here to talk about our brand new Cab Reserve that we're really excited about.
We are.
2017 Cab Reserve. Most of you guys know that when we opened back in 2008, we had one wine, and it was this, our 2008 Cab Reserve. So this has kind of been our baby, our staple here at McGrail. We were really fortunate in 2012 with our 2008 vintage to take home the best red wine in the U.S. with the San Francisco Chronicle. So it was the Sweepstakes Award. It kind of put us on the map, and ever since then, our Cab Reserve has been what we're known for.
Absolutely.
Although we're proud of all of our wines, this is kind of the easy go-to. You want to show up to a dinner party, or you got to bring something to someone. Everybody likes it. So
it's a good solid Cabernet for sure.
So 2017, what do you remember about that vintage?
2017 we had a fair rainfall. 2016 we had a huge amount of rainfall.
Yeah, 2016 took us out of the drought. So
right, and then 2017 we had good rainfall. After 40 vintages in Livermore, that if there's anything close to normal, 2017 was close to normal. We had our warm days. We had a lot of days like today. To me, this is classic Livermore summer. It's 85 and it cools down at night. And we might even see some fog in the morning, depending on how far in the fog comes, which is perfect for ripening wine grapes.
Let's start with the color. This one's got a nice, deep, dark garnet color.
Yep.
Most of our cabs off of our property here, I feel like, kind of consistently follow with that. You get good color off of our vineyard.
I personally think a Cabernet needs to have dark color.
Consistently.
We consistently get that. I'd like to pat myself on the back, but it's really the vineyard.
Well, it is pretty.
This is the wine that also gets a mixture of barrels. We age in approximately a third American, a third French, and a third Hungarian oak every year, and then about 65 to 70% new. So we do have some experienced oak in there. Still, we get a lot of oak influence, but we get an interesting oak influence because of the differences in those three oaks.
Absolutely. I always tell everyone that how we order our oak barrels and your oak strategy is it's like a chef's spice. So we order from a ton of different coopers, and you get a little something different from, the Hungarian oak and the French oak and the American oak, and even within that, the different French oak from different barrel coopers and the different toasts always add something.
But it's not really overly toasty or anything.
Actually, I get the fruit that pops out.
That's what I'm getting too, this cherry cassis.
I was just going to say, dark cherry cassis, those two always kind of take over, which I love. They're amazing. I even get a little bit of dark chocolate in there, which I don't know who doesn't love dark chocolate and cherry and cassis. It's a perfect combo.
I always skip vanilla and chocolate backwards. So much so that I'll get it right sometimes, and then I'll think, oh no.
You'll flip it.
Yeah. I'm like, no, I always think vanilla is chocolate or whatever, and so then I'll get it wrong again. It's really frustrating. I'm going to vote dark chocolate with you on this one, but I'm going to leave it to your expertise.
I also get vanilla. I get both of them in here, but anytime I get the dark chocolate, the vanilla brings me back to homemade baked cookies. The dark chocolate for me that I get is more like the slightly bitter, dark chocolate.
Oh, I see.
Godiva, Ghirardelli, dark chocolate.
Right. Almost a coffee chocolate.
Yeah.
I'm also getting nutmeg.
There's some clove nutmeg. Did you get any plum?
There's some plum there. I get aromas of lavender.
Fresh lavender.
I do get a floral. And it could be lavender, but it could be rose. A little rose petal or something. The thing is about our vineyard is it's not just about the grapevine. The terroir includes the soil and the things that are growing around it. And so we have all these really cool plants that pop up this time of the year actually, and they offer, I think, this kind of smell to the wine. And it's not unlike the eucalyptus tree on Lucky 8, where we get influence from the eucalyptus tree. So this vineyard, we're getting influences of the natural, I call them weeds. Really, the natural grasses and plants that grow, they definitely come through in the wine. It's the place, that's what terroir means. Our place has a special, unique flavor, aroma, etc. I could just sit here and smell this thing all night.
I know. every time I set it down and go back to smell it, I get something different. Even like a cherry cola. The flavors I feel like match the aromas, but I get a little bit more chocolate vanilla notes on the palate, and I get a lot of the cassis and cherry on flavor. The fruit's popping, but you're also getting some of those earthy notes, like maybe a little bit of mushroom, even like porcini mushroom. I don't know, a little bit on the herbal side, like sage.
Maybe tobacco. I definitely agree that the fruit is popping out of this glass. It's got that tannin, big tannin, but it's smooth tannin. You get big fruit up front, then you get the tannin, and then the tannin lingers.
I can still feel it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this wine lingers for sure, but it wasn't like meaty, but you didn't have to like bite into it.
Mm-hmm.
It was elegant, but it carried, I mean, it's still, I can still taste it in the back of my mouth. Like it carries on for a long time.
This wine is so complex. I mean, there's just so much going on. You know, I mean, you get the cherry, cassis, but I'm definitely getting some plumminess. The tannin is just really good. It's definitely there. This wine is going to age a little while.
Yeah, I was even gonna say, even the last 20 minutes since we opened it, it's already changed so much. This is definitely a bold wine. I mean, this has a lot of flavor, but it also has a lot on the mouthfeel. Yeah. And it stays with you for a while. What are you gonna pair this with?
Classic steak. I think this wine stands up to big chewy steak. New York, ribeye would be good.
I recently had oxtail, and I think that would go so well with this.
I bet it would.
It's got a lot of that, you know, the fatty meat.
Right.
Pairs really well with the tannin. It tames the tannin, and then the fat. They combine perfectly.
Yeah, anything with a lot of fat.
I would pair this with prime rib.
This would be the perfect wine with prime rib.
I would add rosemary on top, because that little bit of, I don't know why, rosemary and lavender to me are like the most perfect combination.
I can see it though, yeah.
And so that hint of lavender in here with rosemary on your prime rib, this would be so good.
Totally agree. Carnitas with a little, you know, with the salsa, but I wouldn't overspice the carnitas with the jalapenos and all that, but definitely use some sour cream and avocado. Because the sour cream would help tame the tannin. The fruit of the wine would go really well with the carnitas, which, you know, is pork.
Cheese I would like to pair it with. I still go back to like that hearty Parmesan, Gouda, some kind of hard cheese. I would pair this, actually, I know we said all of like the fancy pairings with it. I would put this with just like an all-American burger. This would go delicious with that.
I agree. Here we are, you know, September, we're rolling into the fall.
I think something like a pumpkin risotto would be so good with this. Add like a little extra Parmesan cheese on it, because the Parmesan cheese goes well with it. I don't know, what other fall flavors can you think of that it would be great?
Well, turkey. And whenever I think of fall, I always think of turkey with cranberry, you know, like the turkey, cranberry, and, you know, the turkey stuffing, you know, some good gravy. This would be a great Thanksgiving wine.
It would be really good. I think it would pair well with like thyme, tarragon, sage, all of those really kind of meaty type spices.
Right.
I mean, I know September, it's still a little bit hot right now, but it's around the corner, we're gonna be in full-blown fall.
It's gonna be Halloween, and the next thing you know, you're doing Thanksgiving. You know, Halloween is candy. It's all about candy.
If we had to pick a candy bar to have with this, I'm gonna go with a Snickers bar.
The
Sweetness
caramel.
of the caramel. Yeah.
Caramel and peanuts. How about a mound? Or even an almond joy with the coconut.
We do always get coconut in our reserve, huh?
Coconut and chocolate, and then the almond. And that would give you some of the earthiness component. Chocolate and wine, red wine seems to always go well, but the coconut, I could see where it would pair with it.
Yeah, it would complement it really well. How do you think it compares to 2016? I think it's a little bit bolder.
I think so. I think it's got a little bit more tannin, but it's got so much fruit.
I think it's delicious. Another great vintage.
Delicious.
Delicious. I can't wait for all of you to taste it.
Looking
I only
forward
have
to
a
it.
sip left. I gotta sip, so we have to cheers before my sip is gone.
All right.
Cheers!